Hi everybody, Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, and this week's contract tip has to do with the brand new 2018 GAR contract forms. So get ready. Just want to let you know this is the beginning of a series of video tips on what you can see in the new 2018 forms. So just to let you know, there are not a whole lot of changes to the purchase and sale agreement, but there are a lot of new forms and quite a lot of changes. So the purpose of this video is just let me give you just a brief overview of what to expect, and I will go into more depth in future videos on the specific forms, especially a lot of the new forms and what they mean to you as you move forward into 2018. First of all, the new forms are going to be available in January, and the GAR licensing agreement is that once the new forms are available, it is against the licensing agreement to use any forms dated prior to 2018. So once the new forms are available to you in January of 2018, you should not be using any forms that have the 2017 date on them. That has been a consistent part of the GAR's license since they have been licensed. So make sure that you are checking your dates on that. And if you have a listing where the seller has filled out, for example, a community association disclosure, a seller's property disclosure, anything else, and they have filled it out, and you took the listing in 2017, when you roll over to 2018, you listing agents, you really need to get those sellers to update the information on the new forms. And you buyer's agents, if you go under contract and the seller provides you with information filled out on the previous form, number one, check the date on that form where they have signed it. And if it is not the current date and you are in 2018, then it really needs to be on a 2018 form. But anyway, some of the universal changes is that the copyright disclosure of the GAR forms is now only at the bottom of page 1 of the form. It's not on every page. And what I mean by that is at the very bottom of the form where it did have the copyright agreement from GAR. It said this form is copyrighted and may only be used in a real estate transaction in which, and it had to fill in the blank, and that is where the agent's name went. The agent that is the authorized user of the GAR forms who was using those forms, that agent's name auto-populated in that place, is involved in a real estate and the form may be used, so forth and so on. That legal disclosure, it used to be on the bottom of every form. It is now only on the bottom of the first page of the form. So that's the first universal change. Additionally, when a page calls for an additional signature page, when that is an option, then the specific form number of the page has been added. Another universal change that the GAR Forms Committee made for 2018 is in any form in the contract package, when it references another form, it always had the title of that form. Well, now GAR has added the form number to help agents in ease of finding that form. So all the page number forms will be labeled in addition to the actual title of the form in the forms. For example, in the let's just say, for example, in the purchase and sale agreement, at the end where it lists all the potential exhibits that the parties are including in the forms, it always had the exhibit name. Well, now it has the exhibit name and the form number of the name of that form as well. Another universal change that GAR made this year is they added the cyber fraud awareness disclosure that was added to the forms, purchase and sale agreements, the brokerage engagements, the consumer brochures, in the other section. Basically, cybercrime is just running rampant, especially in real estate transactions where the bad guys are interceding and getting in touch with the public and giving them faulty wire information for their funds. That's part of cyber fraud. So let me actually read you this disclosure. I know a lot of brokerages have been using a specific cyber fraud disclosure, wire fraud disclosure. A lot of brokerages have been using those within their firms for their agents and their clients and customers. So the Georgia Association of Realtors has added that in to the forms. And again, it is in the purchase and sale agreements, the brokerage engagements. You'll see it pretty rampantly in the consumer brochure, so forth. Let me read that to you. Beware of cyber fraud. Fake emails attempting to get you to wire to criminal computer hackers are increasingly common in real estate transactions. Under this scam, computer hackers fraudulently assume the online identity of the actual mortgage lender, closing attorney, and or real estate broker with whom you are working in the real estate transaction. Posing as a legitimate company, they then direct you to wire money to them. In many cases, the fake email is sent from what appears to be the authentic web page of the legitimate company responsible for sending the wiring instructions. You should use great caution in wiring funds based solely on this wiring instructions sent to you by email. Independently verifying the wiring instructions with someone from the company sending them is the best way to prevent fraud. In particular, you should treat as highly suspect any follow-up emails you receive from a mortgage lender, closing attorney, and or real estate broker directing you to wire funds to a revised account number. Never verify wiring instructions by calling a telephone number provided along with a second set of wiring instructions, since you may end up receiving a fake verification from the computer hackers trying to steal your money. Independently, look up the telephone number of the company who is supposed to be sending you the wiring instructions to make sure you have the right one. Again, that is very important that your clients know to verify the wiring instructions. So that's an added universal change for the 2018 Georgia Association of Realtor contract forms. Another one is that all exhibits have now a place for the parties to initial rather than sign. The only exhibits that do have a place for actual signatures are the loan contingency exhibits and the property disclosure exhibit. All the other exhibits contained in the GAR contract package have just a place for initials rather than signatures. So that's it for the universal changes in the forms. Now, new forms. There are 8 new forms this year. And again, I will address these in depth in future videos, but let me tell you what they are. So there is a retainer fee exhibit. There's a whole exhibit for retainer fees. GAR took out the retainer fee clause in the listing agreements and in the buyer brokerage agreements, and now there's a whole separate exhibit that you may use for that issue. Another new form is notice to be used in a lease transaction. Another one is consent to take pictures and video of property. Another new form is an additional signature page for the brokerage agreements. The additional signature page that GAR had added last year only had a place where it referenced the buyer and the seller. So now there is an additional signature page for the brokerage engagements where it references the broker and the client. Acknowledgement of person contributing earnest money on behalf of buyer. Interested to hear what our lenders have to say about that form. Referral agreement broker to builder. That's a really interesting one. And again, I'll cover that in depth in a future video. You guys ready? Community association fees, disclosure, and related issues. That form has been renumbered and renamed. And again, there is an overhaul of that form. That's going to prompt a huge discussion within our marketplace. And I'm excited to get your thoughts on the changes that the GAR Forms Committee made on that form this year. And the condominium legal description exhibit has been deleted from the library. So those are the new forms, and one that was deleted. And again, the community association disclosure has been revamped again and renumbered. Again, the GAR licensing agreement, as I mentioned, once the new forms come out in January, it is against their policy, the licensing agreement, that you sign as an agent and as a broker to use any forms dated prior to that. The cost for non-realtors. So if you're a realtor, if you belong to a local association of realtors, then part of your dues money goes to the state level, which of course is the Georgia Association of Realtors, and part of your dues money also goes to the National Association of Realtors. So by virtue of you being a dues paying member of GAR, there's no additional cost to be an authorized user of the contract package forms. If you do not belong to GAR, G-A-R, then you may pay for the licensing for this year. And the cost this year, I believe they had not set a firm price, but I believe the price is going to be $234. That's the price that they are looking at right now. That is an annual cost, and it is not prorated. And again, that's it. Just a brief introduction on what to expect from the 2018 GAR contract package forms. Again, stay tuned to this channel to watch more videos on what else is involved. I'll go over the changes in depth. Additionally, if you would prefer, or in addition to, if you would like a classroom class, the Georgia Real Estate Academy has 15 classes on the 2018 GAR contracts in December alone. 15 classes in December alone. The Georgia Real Estate Academy classes are hosted by Maximum One Realty and Realtor offices throughout Metro Atlanta and beyond, throughout all of Metro Atlanta, including West Cobb, Woodstock, East Cobb, the Galleria area, the Hiram Paulding area, Douglasville. In addition, there are also classes in Dawsonville, Emerson, Alpharetta, McDonough, and Conyers. So I will link the calendar below, but you can always go to www.registerforreclasses.com. Again, please see below. And those classes, there is no charge for those classes. Please sign up. These classes do fill up very, very quickly. Thank you so much for watching. Again, Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, satisfying your needs with service, innovation, and education.